Welcome to USA Speedway. Once again, we are here for the sixth round of the Saskatchewan Stock Car Championship. We're a little bit later than normal. We apologize for that. The race control had a few settings that they needed to change in order to make sure that everything tonight is going according to plan and according to what the drivers are expecting. And so we apologize for that little technical hiccup. But we had to make a new session for this race, and the drivers are currently entering into this session as we speak. We have about 5 minutes of practice left for them, and then we'll get started. As I said, the sixth round of the Saskatchewan Stock Car Championship. Last week we were in Martinsville, and we had Ray Murnau win that race. Thomas McGregor was second, and Kevin Dick was third. And going into tonight's event, we are looking at the current standings here in the middle of your picture, with Thomas McGregor leading the way. But as you can tell from the points in the right column, it is pretty close. Raymond O, Kevin Dick are right there with him. Jeremy Brooks, Rob Naismith, still in the hunt for the championship. Callie Admiral, Carson Nagy, Matthew Shirley, and Brent Just, and then Sam Howlett rounds out your top 10 in the driver standings currently. So, we have not done all our events on dirt. As you recall, this is our second dirt event. The first one was at Lanier Speedway. And we're going to try this again here at the USA International Speedway, the dirt version of this track. We're going to be doing 8-lap heats, and judging from the amount of drivers that we had in practice earlier, we should be doing 3 of those heats. And the first 5 finishers in the heat will automatically qualify for the feature race. Then there will be a 15-lap last chance qualifier. In the heats and the last chance qualifier, the yellows do not count, so we'll be doing green lap. We count the green lap racing only, 8 laps of green lap racing and 15 laps of green lap racing in the last chance qualifier. And then race control has amped it up a little bit as far as people causing cautions is concerned. We are working with a 3-strike rule tonight. If you cause a caution, you're going to be put back to the end of the longest line on your first misbehavior. On your second one, you're going to go to the longest line, to the end of the longest line as well. And if you do it for a third time, if you cause a caution for the third time, the race control is going to park you. So tonight, after qualifying, there will be after the heat races and after the last chance qualifier, there will be a short warm-up for the feature race, so everybody can get back into the right mindset once again. And we're going to start the feature race on a fairly fresh track with only 5% in the warm-up of track usage, and that'll carry over to the feature race. So the track will be pretty fresh for the feature race. The feature race is 75 laps, and we're running tonight in the dirt street stocks. And that's a car fairly similar to the street stocks, except it's obviously it's for the dirt tracks. It's got a 350 cubic inch Chevy V8 in under the hood. It's got 425 horsepower, 4-speed manual transmission, and it weighs about 3,075 pounds. There will not be any tire changes allowed. The drivers are going to have to do this on the tires they get, and there will not be any refueling during the race either. So let's bring up some statistics on this track here. It's a 0.6 of a mile oval, USA International Speedway. We've run here before on the asphalt version of it. In real life, this track no longer exists, but thanks to iRacing, we can still run here. Currently, the temperature is given as 78 degrees Fahrenheit. There's a 55% humidity right now. It's partly cloudy, and there's really no wind to speak of. The track temperature is really not all that relevant here in the dirt, obviously. And on the bottom right box there in your screen, you can see once again we're going to do 8-lap heat races, 15-lap last chance qualifier, and then the feature race will be 75 laps. We will count the yellow laps in that feature race. We're in the concluding moments of the practice session, and as I said, we apologize for being a little bit late here, having to reset some of the stuff so to make sure that all the drivers get what they were expecting to, what they prepared for. In a few seconds here, we will be jumping into qualifying. And on the left of your screen, you see the practice being given over as done. It's Kyle Steckley, currently the quickest driver on the track. We have 19 drivers here in the event. I hope we didn't lose anybody because of the changes we had to make, but it looks because we had 21, I believe. So hopefully everybody that wanted to come in is in. And let's see if we can pick up some of the qualifiers. If I remember correctly, they're going to be doing 3 laps of qualifying. The best time counts, obviously. And the drivers will be doing the qualifying individually. They cannot see each other, but we can pick up anybody that's on track. So we're currently looking at the number 38 car of Brandon Feeney out for his qualifying attempt. And we can take a look here at Kevin Dick in the number 10 car out for his attempt. Ray Murnau is here in the 03. Kyle Steckley is here. Thomas McGregor, the guys leading the championship, are all here. We have Ernie Ludwig in the 26 car. And it looks like we are getting some first qualifying times here for you. Jeremy Brooks in the 53 is currently shown as quickest with a 28.015. And then it's Tom Quiring in the 46. It's Brennan Forsyth, and he's already being surpassed by other drivers here. Kyle Steckley now jumping to the top of the list. And Thomas McGregor in second. Kevin Dick in third. Jeremy Brooks now in 4th position. Tom Quiring in 5th. Jody Archer in 6th. Ray Murnau down to the 7th spot. And it'll be interesting to see if they can bring that time down a little bit in their next laps. And it looks like we have Brent just in the number 16 car just going out. Colton Evernham, Kelly Admiral, and because we had to reload everything, you might see those paint jobs load a little bit slow here. But we're glad we got this show on the road, and everybody is going to be getting what they're expecting to be getting. So currently at the top of the sheet, it is Kyle Steckley on the provisional pole, and then it's Kevin Dick with the second time, Thomas McGregor with the third qualifying time, Jeremy Brooks, Tom Quiring, Ernie Ludwig, Neil Schneider, Jody Archer, Ray Murnau, and Brennan Forsyth are your top 10 qualifiers. We have a few guys still out, I believe. No, Colton Evernham still out. And it looks like Wally Wilson is coming in here in this 69 car. I don't believe we had Wally Wilson here last week, but we've seen him before. And David Rockwood is still out there trying to put a qualifying time in. And that means that we have 20 drivers trying to qualify. And let me take a moment to double check everything. It looks like we're in good shape here. And that looks like David Rockwood. I thought I had him here. There he is. That's Wally Wilson. There you have David Rockwood. He's trying to put in a qualifying time. It looks like Carson Nagy just jumped into session, so that will make for, I believe, 21 drivers. 20 drivers. I'm not sure if Jordan Berry's going to run tonight. He is in the session. Yeah, let's see. Thomas McGregor is still running out there. I guess he's just picking up a couple of extra practice laps. And why not? And Wally Wilson, this is Wally Wilson here. You're looking at the 69, and he has not posted a time just yet. And this time, he runs it into the wall, and it's not working for him just yet. Let's see if he can reset that car and get another lap in. And if not, then he'll be at the back of the pack without a time. And haven't seen Carson Nagy yet. He's probably still loading up. David Rockwood still running here. I guess they're just using the allocated time just to get a couple of laps in to get a feel for the track as it is right now. And Thomas McGregor is obviously doing the same thing here. And it looks like qualifying has now officially ended, which brings us to our first heat. And let's give you that grid there for the first heat. On the pole, it's Kyle Steckley. On his outside, it is Thomas McGregor. Then on the second row, it's Jeremy Brooks, Ernie Ludwig. On the outside, on the third row, it's inside Jody Archer, and outside Brent Just. And then on the fourth row, we have Matthew Shirley, Colton Evernham. On the fifth row, it's Ronald Just and Jordan Berry. It looks like Jordan, I'm not sure if he's running or not. I don't see him on the track just yet. And Carson Nagy is the 11th driver in this first heat here. And it looks like we are getting ready to get going tonight with our first heat race here. As I said, the yellow laps during the heat race do not count, so we'll be doing 8 laps of green flag racing here tonight. All drivers in the exact equal cars, the dirt street stock of iRacing, 350 horses, 425 horses, and 3,075 pounds. It's a fairly heavy car to be bringing around a short track like this, and you'll be seeing them sliding around quite a bit, I'm sure. So let's see here, and we're waiting for the time of gridding to end. It's usually right around 2 minutes, and because Jordan's not driving, the computer doesn't know that. He's waiting for Jordan, and so we'll have to sit out that minute, unfortunately, but the guys are eager to go. You can hear them pumping that throttle really hard. And let me double check something really quickly here. Yeah, it looks like we're okay. Kyle Steckley on the pole, as I said, and then Thomas McGregor, Jeremy Brooks, Ernie Ludwig, Jody Archer, Brent Just, Matthew Shirley, Colton Evernham, Ronald Just, and Carson Nagy. And there we go. The pace truck is rolling. And the 75, the 24 of Kyle Steckley on the inside there. And we're getting ready to get this show on the road for tonight here at USA International Speedway. Coming around turn 2 now on the backstretch. And let's see if the pace car's going in now. I'm pretty sure we're doing a second yellow lap here before we get going. So let's take a quick closer look here at Kyle Steckley, our pole sitter, and then it's Thomas McGregor, Jeremy Brooks inside there with the blue and white car, the number 53, Ernie Ludwig on his outside in the number 26, the green and white car, Jody Archer in the 7 car, Brent Just in the 16, the well-known in blue and white 12 now of a Matthew Shirley, Ronald Just in the yellow car, and Carson Nagy in the black car with the blue striping. So hopefully you'll get to recognize him. It's going to be going quickly here, I can tell you that. And looks like we're getting ready to get this show started here. Kyle Steckley on the pole position. Pace truck now going in.
Green, green,
And we have a green flag. Our first heat race for tonight is on its way. It's Kyle Steckley on the inside with Thomas McGregor there on the higher side. Let's close them up in there for you a little bit. Kyle Steckley, and it looks like McGregor is losing a spot there to Jeremy Brooks. And it looks like Steckley is pulling away from him a little bit already. Jeremy Brooks here in the second spot. Ernie Ludwig has also passed McGregor for the fourth position. They're side by side coming in turn one there. And it looks like McGregor is on that lower side here, and he picks up that third position now. There he is, the 26, the green and white car of Ludwig right behind him. Then it's Jody Archer and Brent just side by side. And it looks like the 16's running a little wide, and Jody Archer staying on that inside right now. It looks like Brent just comes off of that turn a little bit better. Let's bring her back up here. It looks like Kyle Steckley is running a little bit wide, and Jeremy Brooks is getting to his inside. Can't just quite get underneath there yet. So it's Steckley still in front, and it's Brooks in second. It's McGregor in third. Ludwig is in fourth. It looks like Kyle Steckley is running that higher side, and I'm not really sure if that's the better place to be currently, but he is shown as being the quickest man on the track. So that tells you that I don't know everything about this stuff. But right now we see Jeremy Brooks get underneath him and take that lead away from him. It's Kyle Steckley now following in the second spot. Thomas McGregor still in third. And Ernie Ludwig is hanging on to that fourth position. But it's Brent Just right there with him, and the 7 of Jody Archer also threatening him in that fourth position. Jody Archer here. Let's bring her back up front really quickly. Kyle Steckley and Jeremy Brooks side by side. Jeremy on the lower side, and Kyle on the higher side has to tug in behind Jeremy once again. Thomas McGregor hanging on to that third spot, and it looks like Jody Archer is on the inside of Ludwig now, trying to take that fourth position away from him, and it looks like he's got it. And then in the back there we see an incident with Colton Evernham. Let's bring that back for you really quickly here. That's Colton in the 46 car there. 48 is what it says on his car. It says 33 in scoring. That's throwing me off here a little bit. Let's bring that back once again. The 16 is on the higher side. Ronald Just is, or Colton Evernham, I'm sorry, I got my numbers mixed up, in the 48. He is on the lower side, and he taps that 16, turns himself around, and the 16 is continuing. So unfortunate for Colton. And we are behind the pace truck currently. And Jeremy Brooks is your leader, as we are under yellow currently. Kyle Steckley now in the second spot. Thomas McGregor in third. Ernie Ludwig is hanging on to that fourth spot. And Jody Archer was trying pretty hard to take it away from him, but no luck just yet. It's Brent Just in the sixth spot. Carson Nagy has now moved up to seventh. And Matthew Shirley, it looks like he's got a bit of a connection issue with a few hiccups there. He is currently shown in the 8th position, and then in 9th it's Ronald Just, and then it's Colton Evernham in the 10th spot. All right, so Jeremy Brooks hanging on to that lead for now, and it looked like he was a little bit better off on that lower side. Kyle Steckley was running fairly high, and it would appear to me that the higher side, the dirt would be a little bit more loose, and I'm not sure if that would be the place that I would prefer to run, but I'm not an expert on dirt racing whatsoever, so I'll leave it to the guys. But it seems to me currently that Steckley's running good. I mean, he's not that much slower than Brooks, but it looks like Jeremy Brooks has had a little bit of an advantage on that lower side. So let's take a look here. That's Ernie Ludwig still running here. Carson Nagy in the 093 is running in 7th. Matthew Shirley looks like his connection seems to be okay now. And Ronald Just in the yellow 33 here. In the 9th position, Colton is still here, and there we go. We're running once again. Single file restart. Jeremy Brooks takes the lead from Kyle Steckley, and Steckley once again on that higher side. And now it looks like Thomas McGregor is coming underneath him as well to take that 2nd position from him. So Steckley down to 3rd now, and Ernie Ludwig in 4th, hanging on there. And who's running high here? That looks like Ernie Ludwig is running fairly high up there. That's Jeremy Brooks coming at you. And then once again in the turn, it's Ernie Ludwig on that higher side. Steckley is now in 3rd. Thomas is in 2nd. And it looks like Jeremy Brooks has got things under control in the lead here. We have another caution. And let's go find out quickly. Oh, that looks like it's pretty bad. I'm not really sure what happened here. Let's bring that back for you and see. Oh, it's the 7 actually. That is, looks like he's causing this mayhem here. It looks like the 7 gets a little bit of a tap from the 16. And then the other guys just can't slow down quick enough to avoid the wreckage in front of them. So let's bring that back one more time here, and see where the 16 is at. It's it's actually Ludwig that runs into the back of him. Let's bring that back again from Ludwig's stand. Yeah, it's Ludwig that can't stay high enough as the 7 washes up. And he taps the 7 on the back, and it looks like everybody else is just has nowhere to go. And that was pretty much it. All right, so let's bring her back up live. It looks like Jeremy Brooks is still leading. The reason you see those other names in front of him is because they took a tow to the pit, and they get there before the pace car passes the line. And iRacing will then calculate a time for that tow to be calculated and not giving them an advantage, obviously. So it looks like Ludwig and Just are in the pits. They have taken that tow, and we'll have to wait and see if they come back out. Ooh, oops, messing with my cameras here a little bit. So still in the lead, it's Jeremy Brooks. Thomas McGregor is now in 2nd. Kyle Steckley has fallen off to 3rd, and not sure if that high side was working as he had wanted for him. And then in 4th place, it's now Colton Evernham picking up that 4th spot. He was in 10th after his incident there, so he's doing okay now, I would think. Then it's Matthew Shirley in 5th. Brant Just is in 6th. Carson Nagy is in 7th. Ronald Just is catching back up with the field to pick up that 8th position. Jody Archer, it looks like he took a fast repair. I'm not sure if they have one here, but it does look like it. And then it's Ernie Ludwig. He is still standing in the pits. And meanwhile, we are back at Green Flag Racing. Ludwig is still in the pits. And it looks like Steckley has picked up that 2nd position from Evernham. Colton Evernham is now interfering in that fight here. 3 wide coming down the straight. We do have another caution, so let's go find out what's happening. Ooh, it's the 093 of Carson Nagy that went around, I believe. Let's bring that back for you. He's running a little bit fast on that turn there, and he can't really slow it down enough before he runs into the 16, and he turns himself around. Ludwig coming out of the pits, the 7 going around there. So that brings out another caution. We are on the final lap, so if they go green again, I would think that they will only get, oh, it shows lap 9 now. We'll only have 1 lap of racing to go, maybe 2. Jeremy Brooks, it looks like he is waiting for everybody to catch up. Not sure what the deal is here. I can't see the pace truck. Pace truck is way up ahead now. And it looks like Ludwig may get a wave around. It's Jeremy Brooks that's in the lead. I know that for sure. It's Thomas McGregor in the 2nd spot, and it's Kyle Steckley in 3rd. Colton Everingham is in 4th. Matthew Shirley picks up 5th position. Archer is in 6th. Just is in 7th. Nagy is in 8th. And Ernie Ludwig is shown in 9th position. And I guess he had to drive another lap to get that all sorted out. Brent just is in the pit. And I'm not so sure if he will bring her back out once again. So let's see. I think we should only have 1 lap of green racing left, and then the heat will be concluded. So it'll be all or nothing for these guys right now. And coming onto the backstretch now. Keep an eye on that pace truck here and see if that truck's going in. It looks like Jeremy is taking a bit of a distance. That way he has more time to decide when to go. And there we go. It's Jeremy Brooks in front. It's Thomas McGregor holding on to 2nd. It's Kyle Steckley in 3rd, tugging in behind McGregor there. And it looks like Colton Everham's running a little bit high. And Matthew Shirley is also running a little bit high, and Jody Archer's picking up that position. Oh, not quite just yet, but he's getting close to deal there with, and it looks like up front, McGregor is hanging on to that 2nd spot. Jeremy Brooks now running pretty wide. Here they come. They're going to take the checkered. It's Jeremy Brooks winning the 1st heat in front of Thomas McGregor, Kyle Steckley, Colton Everingham, Jody Archer, Matthew Shirley. All right, so let's bring up that 2nd heat. And for the 2nd heat, we have Kevin Dick on the pole, and alongside him, it'll be Kelly Admiral on the outside. Then it will be Tom Quiring and Neil Schneider on the 2nd row, Ray Murnau and Brendan Forsyth on the 3rd row. The 4th row will be Rob Naismith and Brandon Feeney. And then on the 5th row, it'll be David Rockwood and Wally Wilson. And they're gridding him up right now. There, we're rolling. Did we have everybody? I do believe so. It looks like we have all 10 cars here. And that kind of tells me that we're not doing a 3rd heat because 21 drivers have started their heat. It's Kevin Dick in the number 10 there on the inside. On his outside is Kelly Admiral. And then it's Tom Quiring and Neil Schneider. And Ray Murnau and Brendan Forsyth behind them. And Wally Wilson in the 69 in the final position there in that black and orange car. There you have him on that final spot there. David Rockwood alongside him in the 90. I think Wally's just kind of trying to figure out where the grip is. So Dick and Admiral in front here. Nicely lined up at the front. The 46 of Tom Queering kind of taking a look on that inside. And we're coming out of turn 3 and 4 now, so that truck should be going in. There we go. It's Kelly Admiral having a good jump start here. He's taking the lead, and he might be getting into turn 1 first, and it actually does look so. He is in the first turn ahead of Kevin Dick, and then it's Neil Schneider on that high side there. Ray Murnau is right behind him. It's Brennan Forsyth in 5th already. Tom Queering dropped back a little bit, probably on that high side. Let's take a look here at Kelly Admiral. Oh, and it looks like Neil Schneider's running really wide. Kevin Dick bringing that car back into second position in front of him. And then it's Ray Murnau right behind Schneider. We have a caution. Let's see what happened here. That is the 90 of David Rockwood, and let's see if we can figure out what happened to him. A little bit further back here, it looks like he's diving to the inside here, and the 71 coming down couldn't get it straightened out quick enough, and he taps the 90 on the front end and runs him into the wall. And I'm not trying to sound like he did it on purpose. He just couldn't get that car straightened out quick enough. And stuff like that just happens. It looks like David is still running, and he's going to try to catch it back up with the tail end of the field there. And the other guys are waiting on him behind the pace car. Kelly Admiral in the front here, and Kevin Dick did get ahead of Neil Schneider again. And then it's Ray Murnau in 4th position in the orange 03 car there. Then it's Tom Queering in the red and black 46. It's Brennan Forsyth here in the 28 car. I clicked on the wrong one. That's the 69 of Wally Wilson. This here is Brennan Forsyth. And then we have Naismith in the 71 in 9th position. And Brendan Feeney is shown in 10th here. And what happened to the 90? The 90 is in the pits, and he's going to see if he can get a fast repair. I'm not sure if they do the fast repairs in the heats, but for his sake, I do hope so. Yes, they do, indeed. So David Rockwood's got a reset car. He's going to catch up to the pack here, and he can continue his heat race. Well, let's see what Kevin Dick has for Admiral here. The lights are now out. We're going to go double file restarting here. I'm not sure why we make that distinction in one race or the other, but I'm sure race control knows what they're doing. So Kelly Admiral on the inside and Kevin Dick on the high side. Then on the inside on the second row it's Neil Schneider, and on the high side it's Ray Murnau. And so far it looks to me like that lower side does work the best, but it doesn't mean that the high side doesn't work at all. It's a longer distance, obviously, and you're looking for grip on that looser stuff there. And the truck is in, and we are going back to racing. Kelly Admiral has a good start here. Comes into turn 1 first. Kevin Dick in 2nd position. Right behind him on his inside, it's Neil Schneider now. Let's see what Schneider can do. And Murnau gets underneath there as well from 4th position. Ooh, and then the 93 and Kevin Dick looked like they touched a little bit there. Schneider hangs on to that 2nd spot, but it's Ray Murnau on the inside now in the 03 car. And it looks like Ray picks up that 2nd position, and he's starting to chase after Kelly. And Neil Schneider now in 3rd, and it's Wally Wilson that brought it up to the 4th spot, and Kevin Dick now comes back underneath him to take it back away from him. So the 69 is doing a pretty good job catching up with these guys. I will say that. He's fighting for the 4th position with Kevin Dick here. Kelly Admiral's out in front, and it looks like Ray Murnau gets to a little tap on that inside wall, loses some speed, and Schneider now picks up second place once again, and he takes Wally with him on that higher side, Kevin Dick on that lower side. Ooh, and it looks like they just overdo it a little bit on that drift, go back too far to the inside wall and lose a little bit of speed. No problem for Kelly Admiral right now. With the other guys battling each other hard is saving him a lot of distance here. They cannot keep up. It's Wally now in the second spot and Schneider in the third. Tom Queering picks up fourth position. Kevin Dick is in fifth. And it looks like we lost Ray Renault. He went into the pits, and I'm not really sure if that was a voluntary move. Let's see what happens here. A little bit further back. It looks like Ray Renault is on that inside line, and the 46 comes down on him, not being able to stay on that high side, and Renault gets an involuntary entry into the pit lane, and unfortunately it looks like that car is stuck on that wall. That's unfortunate. He'll have to reset it, and that's going to cost him a lot of time. Admiral still in the lead. And it looked like the battling behind him between Wilson, Schneider, Queering, and Dick, and a little bit earlier even Renault, that was slowing everybody there down. And it's usually true that when you're battling with somebody else, it means that both of you are slower than when you would be when you would run on your own. And Kelly Admiral definitely took advantage of that. He had quite a bit of distance on the second place car, Wally Wilson, when that yellow came out. So the battling together is always hurtful, and Kelly Admiral was not looking back. He just kept it on that inside line most of the time, it looked to me, and walked away from the guys battling behind him. But I will say Wally Wilson is kind of a surprise to me, because he started in the back there, and it looked like during qualifying he was struggling a little bit. And he looks like he's doing all right now in this heat race. He worked his way from the final position all the way up to the second spot, and that's pretty good. Let's see where the pace truck is headed. Nope, we're doing another one here. So yeah, I'm impressed here with Wally Wilson bringing it all the way through the field to the second spot. Let's see if he has anything for Kelly. And then we have Neil Schneider hanging on to that spot in third. He was battling with Kevin Dick and Ray Renault there pretty hard. And when we saw him wash up and lose the spot, and then we saw him come down again and gain some. Kevin Dick is in fourth. It looks like he's having a little bit of trouble keeping it off that inside wall there in those last few turns, pretty much a lot like Ray Renault. And let's check and see if Ray Renault has finally got that thing unstuck and brings it back out here. He can catch up with the tail end of the pack here. So he's still running, and I'm sure he's going to do everything in his power to get it going back up front. And we're back at racing. Kelly Admiral in the lead, followed by Wally Wilson. Let's see what Wally Wilson can do here. And they're diving into turn one. It looks like Schneider runs a little bit high. Wally keeps it low. Ooh, and the 93 goes into the wall on the exit there. And that allows Kevin Dick to come along inside and take that third position away from him. It looks like Schneider wants to be low, but he can't get it low. And it looks like Rob Naismith is catching up with him as well. Let's bring her back up front here really quickly, because Wally Wilson is now on the outside of Kelly Admiral. Can he do anything? Oh, not right now, because we're going to slow down for the yellow flag once again. Let's see if we can find out what happened. Ooh, that's Kevin Dick that's turned around here. Let's bring that back here. Ooh, and he was very sideways, and just the 93 of Neil Schneider just could not slow it down to avoid tapping him on that back end there. Let's bring that back for you one more time. They're coming into turn one. Kevin is going very, very sideways, and the 93 looks like it has a little bit more speed, but he can't slow down for the number 10 car. And it looked to me like Kevin was so sideways that was costing him speed compared to the 93. He's running again. So he gets to catch up with the tail end of the field, and Neil Schneider is right there with him, it looks like. And that means that Ray Renault automatically picks up 2 positions here. So back up at the front, it's Kelly Admiral. Wally Wilson's right behind him. Then it's Naismith, Rob Naismith in the 71 car. It's Rockwood in the 90. And then it's Brendan Forsyth in the 28. It's Brendan Feeney in the 38. The 46 of Tom Queering. And then it's Ray Renault, Kevin Dick, and Neil Schneider. And it looks like Wally Wilson is kind of just testing out the grip level that he's dealing with. It looks to me like, cause I don't really think you can scrub a lot of heat in those tires on dirt, but it looks like he's just kind of trying to figure out where he can find grip. Yeah, I think he's testing out that higher line there, and it looks like Kelly is doing the same thing. All right, so let's see what the pace truck looks like. The pace truck lights are out, so coming off the backstretch here, we're gonna go racing when he goes in. That's turn 3 and 4 you're looking at. So it looks to me like we're getting ready single file this time. Kelly Admiral in the front there. And there we go. We have a green flag. It's Kelly Admiral in the lead, and it's Wally Wilson right behind him. Then it's Rob Naismith dropping a couple of car lengths back, but looks like he can already pick those up here in the turn. Wally Wilson running a little bit wide. And some good drifting there going on. That's formation skidding, if you ask me. And it looks like Wally Wilson is challenging for the lead now. He's on the higher side. Can he make anything happen here? And Kelly on the inside, coming off of that turn a little bit worse than Wally. Wally challenging him on the outside. And it looks like Wally Wilson picks up the lead here from Kelly Admiral. Oh, and then he loses a little bit of speed in the loose dirt up there, up high. It looks like Naismith is really high up there and right behind him. Coming off of that turn, it's David Rockwood in the 4th position. Ray Renault in 5th already. Neil Schneider, Kevin Dick already worked their way past Feeney and Queering, so they're catching up pretty quickly. Side by side now, Kelly Admiral. And he takes, looks like Wally Wilson takes the win from Kelly Admiral in the second heat here. In front of David Rockwood. He passed Rob Naismith on that final turn, on that final lap, I should say. And then it is Rob Naismith in 4th, and Ray Renault brings her home in 5th, Kevin Dick in 6th, Neil Schneider in 7th, 8th is Brendan Feeney, and 9th is Forsyth, 10th is Queering. So, the consolation race. Let's see who is all in there. It is Matthew Shirley.
Mark, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Yes, I hear you.
Am I on the broadcast?
Yes, you are.
All right, so we'll have to pay you a little overtime here. Is my mad rush over to here? We're going to have a 25-lap LCQ and a 100-lap feature, so expect a little overtime bonus for you.
Okay, no problem, sir. Oh, we love the racing, man, so it's all good. Don't worry about it. I was just talking to the guy, the listeners here about the grid for the consolation race. We have Matthew Shirley on the pole with Kevin Dick on the outside here. Then on the second row is Ludwig and Schneider. Then we have Nagy and Feeney on the third row.
Sorry, Mark, I lost you there.
Yes, I'm going through the grid here real quick, if you don't mind.
Sorry.
All right, so on the 4th row, we have Ronald Just and Brendan Forsyth. On the 5th row, it's Brent Just and Tom Queering. And then in the final spot here, Jordan Berry, he's not going to be starting. The field is rolling off for their consolation race. All right, go ahead, Jordan. I'm sorry about that.
All right, sorry about that. Yeah, so sorry, I missed what you were saying there. You're talking about the grid and other cars or something?
No, I was going through the grid with him. I can bring those up visually these days with my new overlays.
Oh,
so
perfect, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the fans are going to get a little bonus here with 25 lap feature. I'm sure you probably mentioned, but the caution laps don't count. So hopefully these guys can keep it clean, and we can. It is under 30 minutes, so we might run over time. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, okay, we'll see how that goes. So, do we know how many will go through out of this consolation race?
8 transfer.
8 will transfer to the feature race. Okay, that's good to know. That means that anybody, Tom Quering, Brand Just, they have some work to do. So let's see how this all works out.
All right, have a lot of fun, guys.
All right, we're still behind the pace car here. Matthew Shirley and Kevin Dick in front there. It's Shirley on the inside, so he has, it looks like he will have the advantage for the first turn. And it's Kevin Dick on the outside, and then it's Neil Schneider, Ernie Ludwig right behind him. And as I said, Jordan Berry, you just heard him talking. He's the race director tonight. He did not start the race. The only reason his name is in there is because he was in practice. So don't be fooled by that. So 2 drivers will not make the feature here tonight.
Green flag. Green
There
flag.
we go. Matthew Shirley is on the throttle, and it's Kevin Dick to his outside as we go into turn 1 here. Ooh, it looks like the 38 is rolling pretty high. Kevin Dick is rolling pretty high, and it looks like Ludwig comes in between there. Ooh, the 93 almost losing it. And it looks like Shirley is hanging on to that lead in front of Kevin Dick, and then it's Neil Schneider. No, it's Kevin Dick now on the inside here in turn number 4. He picks up the lead from Shirley, and it looks like Schneider is holding off Ludwig, and Ludwig has to be dealing with Carson Nagy here. Carson Nagy in the 093. He picks up a position from Ernie Ludwig, and Ernie Ludwig now on the high side. Let's see what he can do. And it looks like the 12 is losing a little bit of ground compared to Kevin Dick. He now has to watch out for Neil Schneider and Nagy right behind him. Schneider is now in the 3rd spot on the high side. Ooh, taps that 12 a little bit, brings him off balance, runs into the wall himself, taps him again, and it's the 93 taking advantage of all this. Nagy picks up the 3rd position, and Shirley hangs on for dear life in 2nd position. And it's Ludwig again. Ludwig on that inside, trying to be on the inside of Schneider, but they both wash up, and they barely get away with this. And it looks like Shirley is now in the 3rd spot, and Carson Nagy picking up that 2nd spot. And can the 12 come back underneath him? Ooh, it looks like Nagy has that 2nd spot pretty solidly there. And out in front, it's Kevin Dick. He is kind of walking away with this at this point. Nagy and the 12th of Shirley here fighting for the 2nd position. It looks like Nagy has got that pretty much covered currently. But it's not over yet, and Shirley is definitely trying hard. Ludwig on the high side now, and he loses out a little bit to Schneider. Side by side on the main straight, it's Schneider on the inside, Ludwig on the high side. Can Schneider keep it on the lower end? Ooh, it looks like he angles it. He turns it in too hard, gets too sideways, and it looks like he loses a little bit of speed there. Ludwig nosing that thing ahead and hanging on to 4th position. Let's see what Schneider can do now. Looks like he's doing a little better here on that lower end. Ooh, then he washes up trying to overcorrect it. Slides back to the inside, and it looks like he cannot stay here with Ernie Ludwig. Ludwig is now catching up to the 12th of Shirley. And it looks like Nagy has got that 2nd spot fairly secure, and Kevin Dick has that lead fairly secure. But it's dirt, folks. You never know what's going to happen. It's not easy. So Nagy chasing after Kevin Dick, and Matthew Shirley having to deal now with Ernie Ludwig right behind him in the 26 car. Schneider has lost some ground on these guys, and further back it's Feeney, Queering, and Just. They're still in. Ronald Just and Brennan Forsyth, they need to catch up with these people because they're going to lose out if they don't. Kevin Dick still in the front. Carson Nagy in the 2nd spot. Matthew Shirley now dealing with Ernie Ludwig on the bottom. Can Ernie Ludwig pick up that position? And it looks like he is in a good position here in turn 1. The 12 is high. Ernie Ludwig picks up that third position, and Schneider has now got to worry about, Shirley now has to worry about Schneider not catching up to him. So let's bring her back up here in the rear, because it looks like Ronald just has ran into into the 28 of Forsyth, but Ronald just picks up that 9th spot, so he's getting closer to where he wants to be. It's Kevin Just still in the lead. No yellows yet. We're on lap 10 as we cross the line here. Carson Nagy fairly solid in the 2nd spot now. Ludwig and Shirley still duking it out for 3rd and 4th. Ludwig runs a little bit high. Shirley is right there behind him in the same groove, it looks like. And then Schneider, he's trying to run that same groove, but he looks like he's just a little bit more wiggly coming off of these turns. Having trouble to straighten it out, it looks like. There you go. He dives, then he goes to the inside, overcorrects a little bit, and he's kind of wiggly coming off the turn. Right behind him, it's Feeney in the 38, and then it's Queering in the 46, dealing with the 16 of Brent Just. Let's bring her back up to Ernie Ludwig here. It looks like Ernie Ludwig is now a little bit more clear of the 12 of Matthew Shirley, and Neil Schneider following in a little bit in a higher groove than Shirley. And it looks like the gaps are just stretching out now a little bit. Let's bring her back up to the places where it matters. Brent Just is hanging on to that 8th position, and he is still in the feature. And then Ronald Just, and he's quite a bit behind actually, so it'll be a tough deal for him to catch up. It looks like he's almost 5 seconds behind Brent Just, and he's struggling. Brendan Forsyth, damage on the front end of that car. He's in 10th position. He's 2.5 seconds behind Ronald. So it looks like for these guys, this night might come to an early end. They're struggling a little bit here. Kevin Dick is still in the lead. Carson Nagy's still in 2nd place. There's about a little over 2 seconds between these guys. Ernie Ludwig is fairly strongly in 3rd now. Matthew Shirley hanging on to that 4th spot with Neil Schneider closing in on him now. Brandon Feeney's a little bit further back, so let's stay here with Shirley and Schneider duking it out for the 4th and 5th position. The guys in front of him have quite a bit of a distance between them, and it looks like there's no direct battles going on there. Schneider once again coming off a little bit sideways off of that turn, having trouble to straighten that car out. And it looks like they're running a fairly high groove now, just underneath the loose dirt. That seems to be working pretty good for all of them. Matthew Shirley hanging on to that 4th spot. And Neil Schneider, now closing in a little bit. Let's see if we can ride along with him. And look, and this is what it looks like when you're behind the wheel. Look at those hands working. Overcorrects it almost. Coming up to the 3 and 4 here. And keeps it in that same groove as a 12. Goes a little bit low now. There you go. There you go. That's how you get off of these turns. That was very good. That looked very, very solid. Alright, so there you have it. Neil Schneider, he's getting the hang of this stuff. Matthew Shirley still in 4th position. And let's check here up front. It's Kevin Dick, now 3 seconds or better ahead of Carson Nagy in the 2nd spot. And he is just under 2 seconds ahead of Ernie Ludwig. He is fairly solid in 3rd now. Matthew Shirley, it looks like Matthew Shirley is shaking Neil Schneider.
Flag is out.
Something must have happened, and there you have it. The yellow flag is out. Let's see what that was. And it looks like the yellow is for Ronald Just. Just gets it a little too sideways and really has nothing left to do than to just let it come to a stop. Noses it into the wall, turns it around. Oops. Looks like that suspension's crooked because that car doesn't really want to go where he wants it to go. Alright, he is still rolling. Hopefully he can get that worked out there. And we have, let me see, we have Kevin Dick in the lead. We're on lap 18, so getting close to the finish here. Kevin Dick is the leader. Carson Nagy in second. Maybe Carson was hoping for this yellow so he can make something work and take that lead away from Kevin. Ernie Ludwig in third. He looked like he was running strong. Matthew Shirley was getting away from Neil Schneider, and thankfully, thanks to the yellow, Neil Schneider gets that second chance he was hoping for. And then behind Schneider, it is Brandon Feeney in the 38 car. Tom Quiring is 8 in the 46 car, and it actually is good news for these last two guys as well. Brandon Forsyth, he needed this break to catch up with the field and have a chance at finishing in the top 8. And let's see, Ronald Just has gotten a faster pair, and he's going to catch up with the field, and that gives him another shot at making the feature race. And the lights on the truck are still on. Let's see what happens here as they go by the flag stand. Yep, they have gone out, so we're going to go racing next time by. It's Kevin Dick in the lead in the number 10 car. It's Carson Nagy hoping for that second chance here, getting another shot at the win. Then it is Ernie Ludwig in third, Matthew Shirley, Neil Schneider. That's your top 5 drivers here. Coming around the backstretch now. Turn 3 and 4. And then we'll see the truck going in, and we'll have another go at this. And we'll be heading into lap 18 when we get the green flag. And there we go,
Green flag.
racing once again. Nagy hanging with that tail end of Kevin Dick here. Can he do anything on the high side? He's right there with him, and it looks like Ludwig is running high there, and Matthew Shirley might be picking up a little bit here. And it looks like Carson Nagy has gone around Kevin Dick in that 3 and 4. In 1 and 2, and he picks up the lead now. That was what he was looking for. Kevin Dick now in second position. Nope, he goes on the inside. Ooh, touching coming out. And it looks like Carson Nagy still noses ahead of Kevin Dick here. And in third position, it's Ernie Ludwig. In fourth, it's Matthew Shirley. Still in the same order. Let's come up with your leaders here. Carson Nagy is in the front. Kevin Dick is in second. It looks like Nagy has it now. So if he can do what he has been doing, he can hang on to that lead. And it looks like the 10 is getting a little bit too low every once in a while to nose too far towards that wall. We've seen him do that earlier in the heat race as well, and he does that again here. I'm not sure if that's a good thing to do, because you don't want to get your wheels on the grass there. I don't think that'll turn you around. So Carson Nagy hanging on to that lead here. Kevin Dick trying on the low side, and then the 93 is on the higher side coming off of that turn. It looks like he's still ahead. Lap 21, it's Nagy still in front, and then further back we have Ludwig on that higher side. That works for him, it looks like. Matthew Shirley in the number 12 car in fourth. Schneider is in fifth, having to deal with Brent Just. It looks like Brent Just picked up some positions here. Then it's Feeney, Quiring, and Forsyth is on the outside looking in. Let's see him here. Yeah, he's having trouble keeping up. That car's not quite clean anymore. So here up at the front, it's Nagy hanging on to the lead in front of Kevin Dick. Kevin Dick on the lower side once again. Can he nose it ahead there now? Side by side on the main straightaway. Into turn 1. There we go. It looks like Kevin Dick is coming underneath him now. And he's putting that nose ahead of the 093. No, on the higher side, it's Nagy coming off the turn a little bit better. He's still in the lead. It's interesting how these different grooves work better for one driver and not for another. The 93 on the high side comes off the turn a little bit quicker on the high side. Kevin Dick struggling a little bit to get on the gas. It looks to me like when he comes off the turn, it looks like he's having a little bit more trouble getting the power down. But he does seem to straighten that car out really well, though. So, I mean, it's very, very close. Nagy now running high. Ooh, in the loose dirt now. Can Kevin profit from that? Nope. It's still Nagy in the front. And behind him, it's still Ludwig, Shirley, and Schneider rounding out your top 5. And it looks like Brennan Forsyth is still on the outside looking in behind Tom Quering. He can't get close enough. And it looks like we're on the final lap here. Let's stay up front with Carson Nagy in the lead. It's Kevin Dick now on the lower side trying to make that work once again, but Nagy still has it. He still has it. Coming down to 3 and 4. He puts that car in front of the 10 now to avoid the possibility of the 10 going underneath. Then he runs wide on the exit, but he's hanging on to that lead and he wins the consolation race. Carson Nagy in front of Kevin Dick, Ernie Ludwig in third. Matthew Shirley brings it home in fourth. It's Brent Just that picks up the 5th spot from Neil Schneider. And it looks like Brandon Feeney brings it home in 7th. Tom Quering is in the race. He finishes in 8th. And Brandon Forsyth is on the outside looking in. So let's bring up these results here for you really quickly. The consolation race. There you have it. The 10 cars of the consolation race. Nagy in front of Kevin Dick, Ernie Ludwig, Matthew Shirley, Brent Just, Neil Schneider, Brandon Feeney, Tom Quering, and Forsyth and Just are out for tonight. And that brings us to the warm-up, folks. We're going to be doing a 5-minute warm-up for the feature race. And as you heard, Race Control's Jordan Berry tell us here before the consolation race, we're going to do 100 laps instead of the originally planned 75. Yes, sir. What's up?
Well, that was a heck of a LCQ, hey?
That went pretty well, I believe. Not very many yellows and a very good fight at the front there.
Yeah, it was a great broadcast. I hope the fans really enjoyed that, and I thought it was really fun to watch guys kind of switch lanes and change lanes and find different ways to find grip. It was a lot of fun.
Yes, I was saying the same thing. It looked like for some people that middle groove just underneath the loose dirt was working really well. And then for some, the lower line was working really well. It looked to me, you can correct me if I'm wrong, Jordan, but it looked to me like Kevin Dick had a little bit of an issue, sometimes nosing it a little bit too close to the wall. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Kevin was just trying to find. I mean, I think you can see on the broadcast is as the track slickens up, it gets shiny, and he was really trying to find where it wasn't shiny on that inside, and I think that Carson could put the power down quicker on the high side and kind of edge him out coming down the backstretch or the front stretch. So it'll be interesting to see if Kevin makes an adjustment in the feature here, as he'll be starting a little bit further back than he normally does.
Yeah, exactly. It looked like Nagy was avoiding that shiny part as well, but he was doing it on the higher side, and that made for coming off the turn a lot better than Kevin Dick did on that low side.
Yeah, I don't know which driver. I can't remember the name of the driver. I'm trying to look here, but there was one guy that was he was in the transfer spot, and then he was the first one to go up high, and he gained probably 3-4 spots just by running up high and getting a big run. So I think that's going to be interesting to see how far they can push that cushion to the wall, and see if we end up seeing guys doing a wall ride here.
Yeah, so I believe that was Brent Just, if I remember correctly, that you're talking about. Yeah. So I see Brandon Forsyth's name in the warm-up now, but didn't Forsyth didn't he come in 9th in the consolation race?
I'm not even sure. I don't know. It should only take 19 or 18 drivers. So unless someone did drop out, it should. But when it comes to the lineups, we kind of let iRacing do it, as we can't change that. So I guess if he's in, then we only sent one home, which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, I guess that's what it looks like, because Brendan Forsyth, we thought we were cutting it off at the 8th position, but it looks like Brendan Forsyth is in this practice here. So I haven't seen him on track yet, but his name is in the scoring. So I think he's in.
Well, it might actually. It might like allow him to stay in the server, but it won't let him grid. So that might be what's going on here. But I guess we'll find out. I hate sending two guys home. You know, when we got 27, 28 drivers, you know, that's when we've kind of made that decision to send guys home. But unfortunately, with 40 members, we can't change that mid race. So if there happens to be a glitch and we send less guys home tonight, I'm not going to be upset about it.
I hear you. Okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, it might be a little deceiving because your name is still in there as well, and you shouldn't have been shown as qualified either. So.
Yeah, I didn't transfer.
No, exactly. So maybe you're right. It's just showing his name, but it's not. That doesn't mean that he's automatically in there.
Yeah, no, it's been great. I really like the broadcast. I think hopefully the fans are enjoying it.
I hope so too, and I know I am, because I think compared to the last dirt track we did, Lanier was a bit of a tighter track than this one. Has a little bit longer straights. The turns may be a little bit tighter, but it looks like there's a little bit more room to race with these longer straights.
Yeah, we thought about taking it out of the schedule, and after talking to the drivers, you know, that's exactly what it is. It's, again, one of the first tracks that these drivers race on when they're in the dirt. And the fact that it's wider, more room to race, I think we're going to hopefully see less caution. So, looks like we're gridding, and good luck and have fun on the broadcast, and thanks for watching, everyone.
All right, thank you, Jordan. Let's go through that grid here for you real quick. It is David Rockwood on the pole position. It's Kyle Steckley alongside him on the outside. And then we have, let me see, I got to pull up something really quickly here. Okay, and then it's Kelly Admiral on the second row with Thomas McGregor. It's Wally Wilson and Jeremy Brooks on the third row. Then it's Colton Evernham and Rob Naismith on the fourth row. It's Jody Archer, Ray Murnau on the fifth row. Carson Nagy, Kevin Dick on the sixth row. Then we have Ernie Ludwig and Matthew Shirley on the seventh row. Brent Just and Neil Schneider on the 8th row, and the 9th row is for Brandon Feeney and Tom Queering. And indeed, unfortunately for Brandon Forsyth, I misread that information. He did not qualify for the feature race, so only 18 drivers are here. Each of the heats gave us 5 drivers that qualified, and the consolation race gave us the rest of them. David Rockwood on the pole position, and it's Kyle Steckley in the 24 alongside him, Kelly Admiral and Thomas McGregor right behind him. Two laps to warm their machinery up, to warm themselves up, to get in the right mindset for this race here. So 100 laps instead of 75, you get a bonus tonight. And look at it from a distance. It's quite a field here. We're going to do one more warm-up lap here, ladies and gentlemen. It is quite a good pack of cars here. Looks like we have 18 cars, and I'm missing the 71 of Rob Naismith. I'm not sure what happened, but it doesn't look like Rob Naismith has gridded up. So I hope that's not because of some technical issue for him. He could be starting from the pit lane, but I don't see him at all, so I believe that Rob Naismith did not come into the race. Well, that leaves us with 17 eager drivers that all want the same thing. They want to be on that podium at the end of the race. We have 100 laps to go, so it'll be an interesting night here. The 6th round of the Saskatchewan Stock Car Championship. The feature is on its way. It's David Rockwood hitting the gas. Kelly Admiral already looking to the inside there. And then it looks like Rockwood takes that lead for now, and Steckley touches him a little bit. Rockwood runs wide, and he loses a couple of positions there, and it looks like he drops back to 4th position. Kelly Admiral picks up the lead in front of Kyle Steckley on the high side. Wally Wilson is on the lower side there. A little bit of pushing and shoving going on, and it looks like Wilson and Admiral are duking it out for the lead. It's Thomas McGregor on the lower side there, trying to stay with him, and it looks like McGregor passes Wilson on the inside, and David Rockwood loses out a little bit. It's Kyle Steckley dropping back to 5th position now. Kelly Admiral in the lead, Wally Wilson in 2nd position, Thomas McGregor is in the 3rd position, Kyle Steckley in 4th, and it looks like David Rockwood is hanging on for dear life here in 5th position. Ray Murnau coming up already on the inside, he's on the 7th position now, trying to get underneath Jeremy Brooks in the blue and white car. There you have them. They're hanging on the tail end of David Rockwood here, and it's Carson Nagy along with him on the outside. And it looks like Thomas McGregor picks up that 3rd spot now. Wally Wilson still defending for it. Kyle Steckley right there with him, and it looks like Kelly Admiral is once again profiting from these guys battling, and he's checking out in front. He is a couple of car lengths ahead now. Wally Wilson hanging on to 2nd place. Kyle Steckley now in 3rd underneath Thomas McGregor. And McGregor on that high side, Steckley on the lower side. Wally Wilson seems to be very comfortable up high, but it doesn't really always help him. He's hanging on to that 3rd spot now. That looks like McGregor takes it away from him here on the lower side. And then it's Jeremy Brooks hanging on to 5th. It is Carson Nagy in 6th, and Ray Murnau is in 7th. Kevin Dick already worked his way up to 8th position, coming underneath Ray Murnau now. That's for 7th position. It looks like Kevin's taking it away from him. Let's go back and check here on Kyle Steckley in the 2nd spot. He's got Thomas McGregor behind him now. Oh, it looks like Steckley gets a little bit too sideways here. But he's hanging on. He's hanging on. Good deal. And then McGregor in 3rd, Wally Wilson in 4th now. Looked like that higher side earlier didn't work quite as well as he had hoped. He stays on the higher groove of that what becomes shiny. It looks like he's just underneath that loose dirt. And then Jeremy Brooks hanging on to 5th. Kevin Dick is now in 6th position. Picked that up from Nagy and Murnau, who are battling behind him. Ray Murnau now steals that 7th position from Carson Nagy. And a little bit further back, we have Jody Archer, and David Rockwood has dropped down to 10th position now. Colton Evernham hanging on here, dealing with Ernie Ludwig and Brent just behind him. We have a yellow flag. Let's go and figure out what we have going on. Ooh, it looks like the 93 of the 093 of Carson Nagy got in trouble there. Let's hit the replay button here a couple times. Let's see what happens. He goes to the inside of Murnau, and it looks like it's Kevin Dick coming lower than he expected. Can't really avoid it, and then it looks like the 46 or the 48, I'm sorry, and that is Colton Evernham. Couldn't avoid him and turns him upside down. Yellow flag. And Carson Nagy has taken a tow to the pit. Hopefully he can get that car fixed, and it should look, he should have a fast repair for this feature race also. And the fact that you don't see anything happening means that the tow is being calculated as taking a few minutes before he gets his service. Let me double check here something real quickly. It looks like everything's looking pretty good. Kelly Admiral is still in the lead, and obviously his advantage has now evaporated. It's Kyle Steckley right behind him. Then it's Thomas McGregor in 3rd, and Wally Wilson gets another shot at this stuff in 4th position. And then it's Jeremy Brooks. Kevin Dick already worked his way up to the 6th spot. Ray Murnau in 7th, coming along with Kevin, it looked like. Jody Archer is in 8th, and then it's David Rockwood. He has dropped from the pole position down 8 spots, and Ernie Ludwig is hanging on to the 10th spot here. Brent just in 11th. Neil Schneider in 12th. Tom Queering is still running pretty strongly, it looks like. Matthew Shirley in the 12th car. Brandon Feeney is in the 15th spot in the 38 car. And I'm not sure how much damage he's had. Oh, sorry, that was the 48 that hit the other car, it looked like. Yeah, and it looks like he's looking pretty good. And it looks like Evernham did go to the pit and took that fast repair, and it looks like Carson Nagy is still sitting there, so that might mean that he has decided to call it a night. We're double file now. The truck is going in. It's Kelly Admiral setting the pace here, hitting the gas. He's heading into turn one in first position with Kyle Steckley right behind him. Wally Wilson picks up the inside there. No, it's Thomas McGregor nosing ahead. Wally Wilson's on the high side. It's McGregor on the low side. And it's Kevin Dick following McGregor on that lower side. And Kevin Dick on the low side again. And Wally Wilson really high now. Can he keep up? Yeah, he gets off the turn a lot better than Kevin Dick, so he keeps fourth position in his hands as we speak. There he is. Oh, and he touches the Thomas McGregor car there. They save it, and they hang on to this stuff. Ah, that's amazing stuff. Kevin Dick hanging on to fifth. It's Jody Archer behind him now. He picked up a position from Jeremy Brooks. It looks like Ray Murnau is struggling a little bit, and he has dropped back a few spots to 16 of Brent just underneath him. It's Rockwood in 10th now. Oh boy, this is good stuff. Kyle Steckley in the second position, hanging on there. Ooh, gets a little too close to the wall, two wheels on the grass. Kelly Admiral once again seems to be in control and inching away from the guys behind him. Then it's Kyle Steckley. It's Wally Wilson underneath McGregor now. He picks up that third spot. And Kevin Dick sees him running high, and he goes underneath, and he noses ahead. No, it's Wilson now ahead, but it's Kevin Dick on the inside here. Look at that, sliding and drifting through the turns. Stay away from each other, guys. Oh, this is close. This is so close. Kevin Dick picks up that third spot. Wally Wilson on his outside now. Can he make it stick on the high side? That yellow and black car here. The 69 of Wally Wilson. No, it's Kevin Dick ahead of him. And it looks like Kevin Dick has got the position fairly solid now. All right, let's see what we can find out about what's going on. It looks like the 90 of David Rockwood has spun it around here. And that looks to me like it's turn 3 and 4. Let's see what happened to him. Bring it back here. It's the 90. He just gets a little bit too sideways, it looks like. Ooh, he gets a little help from the 48 there. That is... Ooh, that's Colton Evernham. So they get together in turn 3 and 4. It looks like David Rockwood can bring it back in the right direction and catch up to the tail end of the field. Once again, we are under yellow. It is lap 16 of 100. And Kyle Steckley is your leader. I'm sorry, Kelly Admiral is your leader in the purple number 8 car. My bad. And then it's Kyle Steckley in the second position in the 24 car. It's Kevin Dick in the number 10 car. And then in fourth position, we have the 69 of Wally Wilson. I find it interesting that during the yellows, he's kind of trying to figure out, I believe, where the grip is. I find that interesting to see. Doesn't do it all the time, but every now and again you'll see him waving that car in the turns a little bit. And it looks to me like he's just figuring out where to go next. It's Thomas McGregor, and it looks like somebody got the wave around there. That could be Carson Nagy. He looks like he is back in the field. Yeah, that's Carson Nagy. He gets the wave around. He gets to catch up with the back of the pack. So where was I? I think I was at Thomas McGregor here. And then Jody Archer, Jeremy Brooks, Brent Just, Ray Murnau, and Ernie Ludwig is your 10th position car. We're lining them up double file once again. And it looks like the lights are out. It's a little difficult to see in the distance, but I'm fairly sure, we're in turn 1 and 2, so we're coming down the back stretch now. That'll give us a good shot. Yes, indeed, the lights are out. And like I said, like I talked to Jordan earlier, it looked like the guys are having a little bit better feel for this track than they did the Lanier dirt track. That was a lot tighter track, and it produced a lot more yellows. And looks like we're doing a little bit better here tonight.
Green flag.
There we go, we're racing once again. Cali Admiral on in the first position. Kevin Dick now catches him on the inside, and he's nosing into the second spot already with Kyle on the high side. Wally Wilson and Kyle side by side. It looks like Wally Wilson was on that lower side. Ooh, a little bit of shoving going on here. It's Kevin and Kyle on the... Kevin Dick on the inside, Kyle Steckley on the higher side for that second position, and it looks like McGregor's came underneath Wilson there for that fourth spot, but it looks like Wilson's hanging on to that. Kyle Steckley is hanging on to that second spot, and it's Kevin Dick now on the lower side. And they're staying with Cali Admiral very good. It doesn't look like Cali Admiral is getting a chance to go away or run away from him. Now, let's see what happened. What caused this? Yellow once again. I'm not sure if I can find what's going on. Oh, there we have it. It's the 26 of Ludwig. Let me bring that back for you here. It's Ludwig, and he is dealing with the 48 car of Evernham, and then Evernham kind of loses it in the mid-turn, turns him into the wall, and the 38 and the 93 are kind of caught out by that as well. So let's see if Ernie will go to the pit and take that fast repair to fix that front end. He might save that for later, because it doesn't look like damage like that's going to hurt him all that much. Let's see, and we have Cali Admiral trying to catch up with the pace car, and there he is. He's still in the lead. Kyle Steckley still in second, Kevin Dick in third now, Wally Wilson in fourth, Thomas McGregor in fifth, Jeremy Brooks is in the sixth position, then it's Jody Archer in the seventh spot, Brent just in 8th, Raymond in 9th, and the 10th spot is for Colton Evernham. So Ernie Ludwig has dropped back a little bit with all this, and he is still shown in 12th position, and he's right behind the number 90 of Rockwood. It looks like the 46 is dropping back a little bit to get back in line, because he is shown in 16th. Carson Nagy is still running. There he is in the 093, and he is a lap down, and Rob Naismith has actually come into the race a little bit late, it looks like, but he is running. And Nagy gets the wave around. That might actually bring him back on the lead lap, I'm not sure. No. It may not. It looks like Naismith is 16 laps down. Not sure what happened to him, why he couldn't make the start, but he's here, and he's going to try to score some points anyway. And I don't blame him. There we go. Pace truck goes in. It's Cali Admiral hitting the gas. He's heading into turn one first. It's 3 wide behind him with Wilson, Dick, and Steckley. It's Kevin Dick on the lower side now. It's Steckley in the middle, and it's Wilson on the high side, and it's McGregor right behind them with Jeremy Brooks right alongside him. It looks like Admiral is hanging on to that lead. It's Kevin Dick in the second spot now with Steckley on the inside, still 3 wide. They just switch places and switch lanes, but it's still 3 wide. It's Wilson on the high side now. There you have him in the 90s, in the 69 car. He now picks up second position and pulls out very good out of that turn, brings it alongside Cali Admiral, and he looks like he's getting ready to pick up that lead. And it's the 24 of Steckley running a little bit too close to the wall there. He is hanging on to third spot. It's Kevin Dick in fourth with Thomas McGregor on his inside, and Jeremy Brooks is right along there. And it looks like McGregor gets that inside line. Kevin Dick still nosing ahead. The 53 getting a little too sideways coming off the turn. And indeed, Wally Wilson has picked up that lead from Cali Admiral. And there you can see what Jordan was talking about. That shiny part, that's the slickest part. And they're trying to stay away from that. and the 69 has figured out a very good groove here, right up top of that shiny part. He looks really quickly on that higher part, and it looks like Kelly has seen that and he's trying to do the same thing, but it looks like Kyle Steckley taking advantage on the lower side now. You see Steckley staying below that shiny part, and that works pretty good as well. He picks up second position now, drifting to the outside. Oh, and it's McGregor hitting the 8, losing a little bit of speed there. Kelly Admiral now in third position, and you can't say he's slower than he was before. It's just that the other ones are figuring out where to be. Wally Wilson pulling away from him now in the lead. He's about a second ahead of Kyle Steckley, and Kelly Admiral hanging on to third. Now they're on that slick part, and it looks like Wilson was on that higher groove, and that just helps him immensely. Ooh, a little bit of connection issues for the 24. And it looks like Kyle is hanging on to that second spot. Kelly now trying that higher side, see if that works for him. It looks like it does, because McGregor, it's a little bit deceiving with the cameras, but McGregor looked like he was closing in, but he really wasn't. And it looks like Steckley is making that lower side work a little bit better now in second spot, and it does look like McGregor is closing in on Admiral. And Admiral also taking that higher side. You can see Wilson on that higher side, Steckley, Admiral on the high side now, and he's being challenged on the low side by McGregor, but coming off the turn, that high side seems to work a little bit better. Kevin Dick is in 5th position, Brand just in 6th, Ray Murnau is worked his way back up to 7th. Let's check out the leader here, Wally Wilson. And Kyle Steckley now in 2nd. Looks like Steckley is gaining a little bit of ground on Wilson and getting a little bit of a distance between McGregor and Admiral here. And they're still duking it out for 3rd. It looks like Kelly still has it on the higher side, but McGregor is on the lower side now, and they both seem to have some good grip where they're at. The 8 now running a little bit into the loose dirt, and that allows McGregor to pick up 3rd spot, but Kelly pulls up high again, gets alongside. And let's check on your leaders here, because it looks like Steckley is challenging Wilson for the lead here. Wally Wilson and Kyle Steckley side by side going into turn 1, and it looks like Kyle Steckley has that lower line here. And obviously, it means Wally Wilson has more distance to cover, but he's got a little bit more momentum on that high side. It doesn't seem to lose him all that much. He's got that pretty much covered.
The yellow flag is out.
And let's see if we can find out what's going on here. It looks like Jeremy Brooks was involved, and the 46 of Tom Queering. Let's see if we can figure out what exactly happened to these guys. They're side by side here. The 53 goes a little bit too wide. It looks like it's actually Ludwig that hits the wall, and then the 53 gets a little tap from him on the inside rear, turns him around and into the wall, and that looks like a pretty heavily damaged car. And I don't believe Jeremy's been in the pits yet, so there will be a fast repair waiting for him. Carson Nagy is indeed now still on the lead lap, and with the field bunching up, that's good news for him. Rob Naismith still 16 laps behind, but he's running, and he is here to score some points. So Nagy is back on the lead lap in the tail end of the field. Let's see if we have Jeremy has taken that tow. He's going to have to wait for the tow to end, and then he'll get a revamped car. Let's see about Ludwig. It looked like Ludwig still has that same damage from earlier on. He hasn't been in the pits yet, so when he gets into the pits, if he wants to, he gets that fast repair. It looks like Neil Schneider in the 93 has been picking up some dirt as well. Oh boy. And then it's Colton Evernham. And the guys that have been running up the higher side, they're throwing some mud at each other. And I will tell you, if you look inside the car, you can't see the driver's helmets, but the helmets in iRacing actually do get dirty as well. So you have to make sure that you map a button on your steering wheel to make sure that you can take those tear-offs off the helmet and clean your visor, because it'll actually give you the dirt on your helmet. That's realism for you, folks. Wally Wilson, the leader for right now. We're on lap 36 of 100. Kyle Steckley in second. Kelly Admiral and Thomas McGregor. They're already lining them up. I haven't checked the lights on the pace car, but it looks like we're getting ready to go. The leader can choose the side. Wally elects the high side, and he can do that as long as he does it on time. And that gives Kyle Steckley the lower side, and that's what they've been running. Wally Wilson is comfortable on that higher groove, and it looks like Kyle Steckley was fairly comfortable on that lower groove. And so they're pretty much where they want to be. Let's see if the pace truck is going in. He does. And there we go. It's Wally Wilson surprising Steckley a little bit, and he's bringing Thomas McGregor with him on that high side. And it looks like there's somebody coming out of the pits right now. That's Jeremy Brooks. He's going to be a lap behind. He has a new car, but that's a little tricky coming out of the pits like this. Right on that restart. It's Steckley in second with McGregor right behind him. It's Wilson in the lead on that higher groove there. You can, and it looks like McGregor gets that inside wall a little bit too close for comfort, and then it's bumping and shoving all around. Can they keep it going? Yes, they can keep it going. And a 75 of McGregor looks like he's in trouble a little bit. Oh, there he turns it around. He hits the, what was that? That looked like it was, it looked like to me it was Carson Nagy, but that was David Rockwood. All right, let's look at that once again here. He gets in trouble already here, coming off the turn, a little bit of bumping and shoving going on. They keep it going here, and then here he's too far to the inside, it looks like. And actually, it's the 90 coming down from the high side, being too slow and getting in front of him, and he has nowhere to go. Let's see what happened to David, why did this happen. David Rockwood was behind the 16, had good momentum, touched the 16, that gets him too sideways, brings him down, and then McGregor has nowhere to go. All right, that brings us under yellow of once again, lap 40 of 100 now. Looks like Tom Queering is going into the pits, and it looks like Ernie Ludwig is going into the pits. Jeremy Brooks is in the pits once again, and not for damage because he looks pretty shiny and new here. And let's see if we can figure out. Yeah, it looks like Ludwig has got that car reset now. Yes, indeed. They didn't wash it though. But yeah, it looks like that car's reset, and the damage on that left front is gone. Tom Queering, that car looks okay. So Jeremy Brooks, that car looks like it's brand new, and that he is now shown as 3 laps down on the leaders. So unfortunately for him, it's going to be a steep hill to climb tonight. But he still has a little under 60 laps to do it, so never give up. Wally Wilson once again electing that high side to get the restart on. And the cars are lined up now. This is turn 1 and 2, so we have the backstretch to go here. The lights are out. So Wally Wilson on the high side, Kyle Steckley on the inside, then it's Kevin, Dick, and Brent just behind them, and I guess they have been profiting from other people's problems there. Ray Murnau, I see him right there on that 3rd row with Colton Evernham into 48 alongside him. Kelly Atwell has dropped to 7th now with all that shoving going on, and it's Jody Archer alongside him. Wally Wilson picks up the speed. He is heading into turn 1 first, and it's Kyle Steckley and Kevin Dick now right behind him. Steckley on the inside, Kevin Dick on the high side. Ooh, it looks like Wilson is losing a little bit there. No, it's deceiving, but it does look like Kyle Steckley picks up that lead. And Wally Wilson on that high side looked like he was a little bit too much in the loose dirt. And it looks like Kevin Dick is on his inside now. let's see here. Kyle Steckley is on that inside line. He's got Kevin Dick right behind him. And it looks like Wally Wilson is having a little bit more trouble keeping up. And then he runs out of room, touches the wall. That was not the cause for this caution, I don't think. That was something else. Let's see that 38 car. He's getting in trouble here with that looked like the 75 of Thomas McGregor, and then the 71. Oh, keep that thing clean, bud. You just had a new car. So let's bring her back. Let's bring her back. It looks like the 38 is getting in trouble coming off of this turn right here. He gets a little sideways. Ooh, has trouble keeping it in the line. Then the 12 hits him. The 12 goes around. The 12 goes around. And then the 38 runs into the 75. Let's see about Matthew Shirley here. How did this look for him? So the 38 gets in trouble sideways, gets left and right. And then the 12 has nowhere to go, gets turned around as well. Damage doesn't look too bad. He hasn't been in the pits yet. He could reset that car. He still has fast repair. And we're back behind the pace car with Kyle Steckley now in front. Wally Wilson in second. Kevin Dick in third. Colton Evernham in the 48 is running in fourth. And I'm kind of curious to see where the 75 of McGregor is. He is further back in the field, and it looks like he picked up some damage in all this mayhem here on that right front. I hope he's okay. He hasn't been in the pits, so he still has that reset as well. In front of him, it's David Rockwood in the 90 car, not entirely free of a reworked front end. And then Ernie Ludwig, he picked up a reset in his last pit stop on lap 39. Tom Quiring pitted on lap 39 as well. And he looks to be in pretty good shape. We're lining them up once again here. And let me... And this time it's Wally Wilson opting to take the inside. That's interesting. He's kind of thinking maybe that that high side doesn't work as well as he wants it to. And he's kind of forcing Kyle Steckley on that higher side, and he knows that Steckley is comfortable on that lower side, so that might be a smart decision. Ooh, Steckley comes off the turn a little bit loose. It looks like Wally Wilson picks up that lead. Steckley on the high side now. It looks like Kelly Admiral on that high side is running out of the room. He gets shoved into the wall, and he's scraping along that wall there, losing some positions. It's Kyle Steckley picking up the lead. And it's Kevin Dick on the inside as well. There, he's on that slick part now. Well, Wally Wilson in that higher groove coming off the turn. Pretty good, and he holds off Kevin Dick. Let's see what's happening now. Ooh, that's a bad wreck for the 90. Let's bring her back here and see what's going on. So you can see the purple car is already in trouble, and it's a little bit of banging going on in front of the 90 then. The 90 gets a little bit too hot into that car, into the 46, and then he can't hold on to it, and he runs it into the wall, turns it around, and he still has that fast repair left, so he should be fine for the rest of the race. And is he bringing it into the pits? I don't think so just yet. He's probably just going to wait for a better moment because, I mean, as long as that car is drivable fairly well, why would he go and take that fast repair? So, Jeremy Brooks still running. And he's 2 laps down now. Rob Naismith is still running, but he's also quite a ways down, obviously. It's Kyle Steckley that has the lead. And he's in front of Wally Wilson. And then it's Kevin Dick in third. Colton Evernham is in fourth. Ray Murnau now in fifth. And it looks like the 53 gets the wave around. Picks back up one of those laps, I guess. Brent Just is hanging on to 6th position. It's Carson Nagy in the 093 here in 7th. Kelly Admiral got lucked out a little bit on that restart. It got shoved into the wall and scraped along the wall in 3 and 4. And he lost a few positions. He's now running in 8th. It's Thomas McGregor. Looks like he's recovering a little bit, and he's in 10th. He's actually in 9th because Quiring is on the outside. So Tom Quiring is your 10th place driver. And Kyle Steckley now looks like he's opting for that high side. There you have Brooks catching up with the field after his wave around. Pace truck's going in, and we're getting ready to go. It's Kyle Steckley hitting the gas, and he tugs along Colton Evernham there, and it's Wally Wilson on the inside. Evernham going really high. Ooh, looks like he gets into the loose dirt there. Oh, and then it's the 69 getting in trouble on the inside. It's the 69 getting in trouble on that inside line there. Let's see if we can bring that back up. He's behind Steckley, and he gets a little bit of help from the 10, not much, but he overcorrects it, trying to keep it away from the inside wall, overcorrects it and shoots to the outside, and he collects Ray Murnau in the process. That's pretty unfortunate. Looks like they're locked together here. They're trying to the 69 is using bold methods here to get going once again, and it looks like Ray Murnau is in the pits. He took a tow. There he is. He did not have a pit stop before this, so I'm fairly sure he still can take that fast repair. He just has to wait for the tow to be calculated. Kyle Steckley in the lead. It's Colton Evernham now in second spot. And the 69 of Wilson is down in 15th position. So Colton Evernham is doing some good work here. We haven't seen him all that much, but he's running his laps fairly strongly, and he's trying to make a name for himself right now, running in that second position. Brent Just has worked his way up to third by now, and Kevin Dick was hanging on to fourth. Carson Nagy now in fifth. Kelly Admiral back up to sixth already, bringing McGregor along, I think, and Neil Schneider is in 8th, Ernie Ludwig is in 9th, and Matthew Shirley in 10th. And it looks like we're getting ready to go. Nope, we have one more lap of yellow. Steckley choosing the inside line here, and they're lining them up. We're on lap 54, so we're a little over halfway. Guys catching up here. And let's take a quick look here at Kelly Admiral. He's on the high side, it looks like. Yep. Yeah, Kelly Admiral's on that high side. There you have him in the 8th car. Not entirely free of damage, but it doesn't look like it's going to hurt him too bad. So Kyle Steckley, Colton Evernham, and it's Brent just on the inside line behind Steckley. There we go. We're racing once again. Steckley and Evernham side by side. It looks like the 48 is nosing ahead towards turn 1. Can he make that stick? Ooh, he runs really high into the loose dirt there. It looks like Kevin Dick and Brent just are getting underneath him now. No, he makes that work coming off the turn. That's good stuff, and it looks like he's alongside once again. Steckley on the lower side. It's Kevin Dick behind Steckley now. There you have him. They're coming off the turn. It's Kevin Dick in third, Brent just in fourth. Oh, and they're 3 wide here. Kelly Admiral on the outside, the 093 of Nagy on the inside. A little bit of banging going on. The 93 gets in there. The 16's having trouble keeping up. Ooh. He overcorrects it just slightly, and he didn't really know how close McGregor was there, and he turns it around, and McGregor is upside down. Let's bring that back for you really quickly here. The 16 coming off the turn. He thinks he's got it right, and then it looks like the 093 of Nagy is there. And then he collects the 75 and the 12. The 75 on its roof, wrong side up. And that means they're going to have to take tows to the pits as well. Let's see where Brent is. It looks like Brent has given up now. Jeremy Brooks is still running. The 75 has... he's taken a tow to the pit now. It looks like Brent just is out. That's unfortunate. He was up there. He was doing a good job. Matthew Shirley, pretty banged up. He has not had his fast repair. Is he taking it now? Is he hanging on to this machine as is? He is behind the pace car, but he's not in the lead. He is he's almost a lap down. And it looks like that car is still running fairly straight. It's a little deceiving. It may not be as straight as I think it is. No, definitely not. I would think he would need a pit stop to get that sorted out. Yes, there he goes. He's going to take a pit stop. Watch the pit speed. Yeah, he's crooked. He needs a new car. So Matthew Shirley into the pits to get the damage repaired. Kyle Stackley still in front. Colton Evernham still in second. Kelly Admiral now up to this third spot. And Kevin Dick in fourth. Carson Nagy in fifth. Neil Schneider in sixth. You saw once again that was Rob Naismith, or I'm sorry, that's Jeremy Brooks going around for the wave around. And it looks like we're getting ready to go once again. Shirley has he rejoined? Yes, there he is. He's in the back of the pack there. And it looks like McGregor is still in the pit. There we go. We're running once again. Colton Evernham has a good start, but Kyle Steckley is still nosing ahead of him. It's Colton Evernham now on the inside, and Steckley going pretty high. Kelly Admiral once again way up there in that loose dirt. And the same is true for the 93 of Neil Schneider. And Steckley still on that higher side. He looks to be pretty comfortable there now. Now it's Kevin Dick challenging him. He's past Colton Evernham. Colton Evernham is now in third. Kevin Dick in second. Kevin staying on the low side. It's Carson Nagy in the 93. Also passing the 48 on the inside there. Ooh, they're looking a little bit uncomfortable on that low side. Getting too close to the wall and the grass. That upsets the car. Steckley still in front. A beautiful drift here. Kevin Dick right behind him. Carson Nagy is a little bit more wiggly. It's Kelly Admiral taking advantage of him losing a little speed there. He's coming to the inside and picks up third position. They touch a little bit there, but it looks like it's not a big deal. So Kelly Admiral picks up third position, and look who's back up there as well. That's Ernie Ludwig. He's coming into the inside of Nagy as well. He's in fourth position now. Kyle Steckley still in front. It's got Kevin Dick on the inside now. That's for the lead. And then it's Kelly Admiral that picks up the third spot, and Ernie Ludwig comes with him, passing Carson Nagy, who dropped to fifth position. Wally Wilson already back in the sixth spot, and he looks like he's struggling a little bit there in the loose dirt. Kyle Steckley once again in front with Kevin Dick now behind him. They're staying on that lower side. It looks to be working for them. Kelly Admiral in third. Carson Nagy now back at it with Ludwig. Oh. And you could see that coming. Nagy and Ludwig. That was not all that nice. Let's see exactly what happens here. Let's take a look. And the 93 just seems to wash up. Can't get himself unlocked there. And then Ludwig really has nothing he can do, and it turns the 93 around. So that's unfortunate. Ooh, watch out before you get going, guys. You don't want to take more people out. So Steckley still in front. Kevin Dick in the second spot. Kelly Admiral back up in third. Not entirely unscathed here. And he still has that fast repair if he needs it. And then it's Wilson. Looks like Wilson has picked up 4th position. Ooh, coming up to the pack here a little bit too quick. And it's Colton Evernham. And it looks like those guys are maybe not happy with each other. I don't know. I do believe that Wilson was behind Evernham, but I may be wrong. Looks like Jody Archer is going into the pits, and that's his 3rd pit stop for the day. And I'm not sure if he has damage that he wants to get rid of. That'll take a little bit of time. Matthew Shirley still running. Thomas McGregor now also shown a lap down. Brent just is gone. Ray Murnau is gone, and Rob Naismith is still running. And he's picked up quite a bit. He was like 16 laps behind, and it's only 1 lap now. Steckley, and it looks like the 12 gets the wave around here. Steckley is the leader. And let me see, Colton Evernham is indeed in 5th position. And it looks like David Rockwood is behind him. They're lining him up. Wally Wilson's right back up at the front once again. Kyle Steckley is your leader. Coming down the backstretch, the lights on the pace car are out. They're lining them up double file as they should. It looks like Ludwig is running once again. And Jody Archer looks to be back out there in the final running spot in your picture there. I think there's another car behind that. Yeah, that's the 12th of Shirley. We're racing once again. Kyle Steckley picks it up. And it looks like Admiral is on the lower side and Walt Wilson on the higher side. Kevin Dick is on the high side there in the loose dirt. Wilson trying to get to the middle there. Kelly Admiral and Wilson side by side. Now it's Kevin Dick in the 2nd spot here.
Yellow flag is out.
And we have another yellow. Let's see what is happening. Ooh, that looks like the 38 of Brandon Feeney was in trouble there. I'm not entirely... Oh, it's in front of him, actually. It's the 93. Let's bring her back. It's the 46 hitting the 93 in the back. And then the 38 has nowhere to go. But it actually started a little earlier. Because it's the 38 and the 46 getting together in the turn. Oops. There you see the 38 hitting the 46, and the 46 is totally off balance, hits the 93, and then the 38 has nowhere to go when the 93 is in his way. And there we have it, back up live. We're on lap 70 of 100. It's still Kyle Steckley in the lead. We have Kevin Dick in 2nd. Wally Wilson is now in 3rd. Admiral has fought his way back up to 4th, and that was not an easy fight for him, I can tell you that. And it looks like Feeney gets the wave around. David Rockwood is in 5th, and the 48 and the 90 are still kind of not happy with with each other, it looks like. they've been rubbing and getting each other's attention a little bit too much, I believe. The Carson Nagy is in 7th. Jeremy Brooks in the 53 is in 8th. It's Ernie Ludwig in 9th, and Neil Schneider is in 10th. Matthew Shirley 11th. Feeney in 12th. Archer in 13th. Tom Queering is in the pit, and he's already had his fast repair, so I'm not sure if he's going to get much repair done here. It looks like they're lining them back up. Coming out of turn 2 here. Kyle Steckley is on the outside once again. And the thing about dirt is that the grooves and what works low or high is not constantly the same. Obviously, we're throwing around a lot of mud, so the best lines will definitely change during the race. It looks like Kyle Steckley was much more comfortable on the lower side before, and he seems to be pretty comfortable high now. So let's see what he does here. He's on the outside. He hits the gas. It's Kevin Dick on his inside. Kelly Admiral and Wilson behind. And it looks like Kevin Dick is low as Stackley takes that higher side. Is he washing up too far? No, it looks like he gets off the turn pretty good. But it's Kevin Dick still on his inside. He can't clear him just yet. Ooh, guys, we have another caution. Let's see what's going on. 93 in major trouble here. Let's see if we can see what happens. There was a little bit of pushing and shoving in front of these guys, but I don't think that was what caused it. He's just scraping the wall, and it's the 90 coming up off the turn, and there's just not enough track for both of those guys at the same point there. Unfortunate for the 93. It looks like the 93 is still running, albeit not entirely unscathed, but it seems to me that he will be okay. He still does have his fast repair because he has not been in the pit just yet. And let's see, Tom Queering. It looks like Tom has called it an evening. He is still in the pit. And it's Steckley tugging in behind the pace truck here. He's still in the lead from Kevin Dick, Wally Wilson, Colton Evernham, and Kelly Admiral. Kelly lost out a little bit on that restart there. He's now shown in 5th position. And I think he was on the high side, so I'm not sure if that hurt him a little bit there. Once again, a wave around. I believe that was for McGregor. Yes, it is. And he likes to put on a show just to get back to the back end of the pack. Steckley in 1st, Kevin Dick in 2nd, Wilson back up in 3rd. He's running pretty strong. And it's interesting to see that Kelly Admiral, he had a very strong beginning. His heat was very strong, and it seems to be that the others probably caught up with him, finding that groove with the grip, because he's struggling to stay in front now. The lights on the pace car are out, and it looks like race control has decided to put him in single file. And they're coming off turn 4 here now, and the truck is going in single file. They're all pretty much on the high side. Kyle Stackley hits the gas, and oh, it looks like who is that? That is Carson Nagy. He was jumping to that inside. Colton Evernham picks up 2nd position. It looks like drifting side by side. It's Kevin Dick in 2nd. It's Evernham and Wilson right behind him. Then it's Carson Nagy on that inside. You can see the blue wheels in the distance. And Steckley still in front, and Dick right behind him. And Wally Wilson tugging in behind Kevin. Wally stays high. Ooh, now he gets in trouble a little bit on that higher side, but it's not bad enough for Nagy to pick up that position. And Nagy, Kevin... It's Nagy, that Carson Nagy, that gets in trouble coming off the turn. He almost saves it, and then he gets a little bit of a tap from the number 8. The number 8 is not a lucky man tonight. I will say that. Let's look at that again. He gets in trouble. Oh, he gets a little help up there high as well. Oh, boy. And this time he waits nicely before everybody's gone out of his way. He still has a fast repair, and I'm fairly sure he's going to take it as he comes into the pit lane here. The 093 of Carson Nagy. Ooh, smoking too. That means it's bad. That was a bad hit. Can he do anything about it? Is he going to get that fast repair? I don't believe I hope he didn't forget to check that off as he rode into the pits, because you got to tell him what to do. Maybe he's being held there because he entered a closed pit. I'm not sure, but I'm kind of curious why he's not getting a fast repair, because it's his first pit stop. He should have it, but he does have to remember himself to check it off when he goes in. Alright, so back here at the front, Kyle Stackley is still in the lead. We need some more green flag laps for others to be able to do anything about it. And Kevin Dick was trying hard enough. Wally Wilson in third. Colton Evernham is hanging on there in that lead group in the fourth spot right now. Kelly Admiral, a little bit unlucky once again. He's hanging on to fifth. It's Jeremy Brooks in the 53, now shown in sixth position. And I will say he worked his way up quite a bit. That's pretty good. He's come back a long way. Ernie Ludwig in 7th, Matthew Shirley in 8th, David Rockwood is in 9th, and it's Jody Archer in the 10th position. It looks like the lights are out. We're going to go single file once again. Lap 80 of 100. We still have 20 laps to go when we get the green. There we go. Stackley picks up the pace and pulls a couple of car lengths on Kevin Dick there right away. And then behind there is Wilson and Evernham together going side by side into the turn. Let's bring them up a little closer here. It's the 48. That's still, almost loses it, but he saves it pretty good. Wilson is now in the third position. It looks like Kevin Dick is on the lower side and Stackley on the higher side. Stackley comes off the turn a little bit better than Kevin Dick. Kevin got a little bit too sideways coming off of that turn. So Stackley hangs on to that lead. Once again, it's Kevin Dick on the inside. Yeah, it looks like he comes to that wall so close there. That's probably where he thinks the grip is, but it seems to me that Stackley comes off of the high side a little bit better. And Wilson is now on the high side right behind Stackley. And let's see if he can pick up that second spot right now. It looks like Kevin Dick comes alongside the leader here. And he's on that low side once again. It's Stackley on the high side. Can Kevin pick up the lead here? The high side works better coming off the turn. It looks like side by side. There's not much between these guys. And Wilson's hanging on to third. On that higher side now, ooh, he gets on the inside of Stackley. It looks like Kevin Dick is picking up the lead here on the lower side. Stackley got caught out a little bit. Well, he comes off the turn pretty good, gets alongside once again. Wally Wilson is hanging with Stackley on the high side, and it's Kevin Dick on the lower side. And the high side is good coming off the turn. The low side is good coming into the turn, and that's kind of how it's working right now. And it looks like Stackley and Wilson are dropping off a little bit on the entry, and then when they exit the turn, they pick it right back up. There you go. And now Wilson is getting alongside the outside of Kevin Dick as well. So Kevin Dick is not sure of his second position at all. Ooh, gets a little close to the wall on the grass. It looks like Wilson gets on his outside and passes him for second position. Stackley and Wilson now. Now it's Stackley on the low side, Wilson on the high side, and Kevin Dick getting underneath Wally Wilson to pick second position right back up. And then it's Wilson coming off the turn quite a bit better and picking up that second position. This is good stuff. Wally Wilson on that high side, Kevin Dick on the lower side. It's Stackley in the lead now, Wilson in second, and Kevin Dick in third. Let's go and check on the rest of the guys. There's a bit of a gap to Colton Evernham, Jeremy Brooks, Ernie Ludwig, and then it's Matthew Shirley that's gotten past Kelly Admiral. And David Rockwood in 9th, Jody Archer in 10th, with Neil Schneider right there with him. And up front, let's go back up here, because it looks like Kevin Dick is bringing it back underneath here, and it looked like Wilson and Stackley were on that high side, pretty much touching each other. Now they're all three abreast here. And Steckley getting caught out on that high side a little bit. The Kevin Dick picks up the lead in front of Wally Wilson, and Kyle Steckley is third as we go yellow. And we're going to find out for you what has happened. The 38 was involved. Let's see what's going on. The 38. And it looks like the mess is happening in front of the 38 here. No, it's the 38 losing it on the exit of the turn and getting just a little tap in the back there to spin him around. Doesn't look too bad. And the 38 of Brandon Feeney still has that fast repair, so he could use that. Alright, so back up front behind the pace car now. Kevin Dick is currently your leader in front of Wally Wilson and Kyle Steckley, and we saw Kyle Steckley and Wilson battling it on the high side, both together. They're really close together, and they did make it work. But Kevin Dick took advantage of that and came underneath and took the lead. And in the fourth spot, it's still the 48 of Colton Evernham. I think Colton is running a very strong race. He may not be fighting for the lead all the time, but he's maintaining good pace. And he's in that top 5 pretty much the entire time. And look who's picking up another lap there. That is, oh, I can't find his name. That is Jeremy Brooks, it looked like. He's now in the 5th position in the 53 car. He came from a long way back. And I'm not sure who that is getting the wave around. That should be the 75, probably. And we're getting back in double file here. That looked like the 75 indeed. Double file on the backstretch. Kevin Dick and Wally Wilson, pace truck going in. It's Kevin Dick hitting the gas. It looks like Wally Wilson has a bit of a jump on Kevin, but it's Kevin on the inside going into turn 1 and Wally Wilson going somewhat high there. It looks like Colton Evernham is going into the middle of it. Ooh, a little bit of door banging going on here. And right behind Kevin Dick, who picks up that lead, it's Wilson Evernham and Kyle Steckley. Ooh, this is going bad. This is going bad. Yes, indeed, that's going bad. They're all over each other and pushing each other into that wall, scraping along that wall. Let's see if we can bring that back really quickly here. There's no yellow, but it's the 48 and the 69 getting together and pushing each other into the wall and losing some positions in the process. And it allows Kyle Steckley to pick up 2nd position. And Wilson hangs on to that 3rd for dear life. Evernham on the low side now. It allowed Ernie Ludwig to catch up with these guys. He's mixing himself in this battle here to the outside of Evernham. And Jeremy Brooks is right behind there as well. Ludwig now on the high side. Evernham picks up a little bit of, looks like on the inside. Then it's Ludwig on the high side once again. With a little tap on the wall, he still comes off better off of that turn. And this is getting very, very close. This is beautiful. This is fun to watch. Oh boy, we had another yellow. Let's see if we can figure out what was going on. It looks like the 93 was involved here. And let's see what happened. So the 38 and the 93, they're in the back of the pack here. The 93 just gets it wrong on the inside there, turns it around. And then he turns it around to go in the right direction, right in front of the 46. And I always find that a little bit unfortunate. You know, there's nothing the 46 can do. You can't hit the brakes because you'll slide straight into the wall. And it's not necessary. You know, you made a mistake when you're in the 93. You made a mistake. You just got to wait until the track is clear and then turn it around. And not ruin anybody else's night because of your mistakes. But that's just me. I don't mean to judge anybody. That's not up to me. It's up to Jordan in the race control room. So let's bring her back up to the front here. Live, it's Kevin Dick in the number 10 car. He still has the lead from Kyle Steckley and Wally Wilson. And once again, Evernham is still there. It's not easy for him. And it looked like they had a bit of an issue there, scraping each other alongside the wall. It allowed Ernie Ludwig to catch up with him. Jeremy Brooks is right there with him. And I believe it is Naismith getting the wave around. So he picks up a little bit more of his disadvantage because of his late start. And they're going back double file here now. Lights on the pace car are out. We're looking at Kevin Dick and the 24 of Kyle Steckley, the 69 of Wally Wilson, and then it's going to be Colton Evernham on the outside there. Or no, it's actually going to be Ernie Ludwig on the outside here. Coming towards turn 3 and 4. Lap 96, folks. It's getting really close. It's going to be a dash for the prizes here. We're going to go into lap 97 when we see the green flag. There we go.
Green.
Kyle Steckley alongside Kevin Dick. They're two abreast here going into turn 1. It looks like Kevin Dick is picking up the lead with Kyle Steckley on the high side. Wally Wilson on the lower side there, inside of Steckley now. There we come back to turn 3 and 4. It's Wally Wilson on the lower side of the 24 car of Steckley. Kevin Dick is in the lead. Coming off turn 3 and 4, very good. And it's Steckley and Wilson. Oh, it looks like Steckley noses it ahead there. Oh, getting really low here. And Wilson seems to be a little bit struggling on that higher side, loses a position to Ludwig. Oh my gosh, they save it. It's McGregor now picking up the 3rd spot. The 69, a little bit of pushing and shoving going on here, but they hang on to it. All of them hang on to it. Unbelievable. Oh, and further back, it looks like it was the number 8 car of Kelly Admiral that got turned around. Let's see what happens here. It looks like the 8 gets a little bit too low to the grass here. Oh, it's the 53 that slows down in front of him, and he can't really escape that, and he taps the 53 and then turns it around. And here you see the same thing once again. They have to be a little bit more careful, I believe, by rejoining the race, because he almost takes out the 71 of Naismith there, and that's just really not necessary. All right, so we're going to do a green-white checkered. Excuse me. I'm not sure how many of these we're going to do, but green-white checkered, as you know, means we're going to do 2 laps as we hit the green flag. Green and white will wave together, and then there's another. I'm sorry, the green will wave, the white will wave, and then it's the checkered flag. So 2 laps of racing, a sprint towards the finish. It looks like Kevin Dick is in a pretty good position. He's running strong. Kyle Steckley is running strong right there up front. And don't count out this man here, the 69 of Wally Wilson. He's run a very strong race here tonight. And look who's back up in 4th position. I'm amazed by this. The 53 has come from a long way, and he's now running in the 4th spot. It's Ernie Ludwig in the 26 in the 5th spot. Thomas McGregor in 6th.
Mark, you got a copy?
In 7th. Yes, sir.
Just so you know, I'm going to do a manual green-white checkers on the broadcast here.
Okay, and we're only doing one of those, or multiple if we have to?
Just one of them. Just one of them.
Okay, all right, there you have it, folks. 1 green-white checkered. And race control is doing that manually this time, so it might look a little bit different. It looks like they're already finished here, so that is going to give me a little bit of trouble with scoring maybe, but we'll see if we can pick it up for you. Fireworks have started early, and we're still seeing fireworks on the track, I'm sure, here. We're going to do 2 more laps of manual green-white checkered, as he said. And here we go. It's Kevin Dick on the inside now, and Kyle Steckley on the outside. It's Wally Wilson also on the inside. It's Jeremy Brooks on the higher side, hanging with these guys. Looks like Kevin Dick has still got it in front of Kyle Steckley. Steckley on the inside now for the lead. Wally Wilson right behind there. Jeremy Brooks. Oh, and it's Wilson. It's Kevin Dick hitting the wall on his exit of the turn. It looks like Kyle Steckley is now picking up the lead here, and your scoring is not going to show this, unfortunately, but it's Kyle Steckley that picks up the lead, and it's going for the win. It looks like Steckley picks it up here, and Kevin Dick is probably going to make it home in second place. There we go. This should be the finish. Kyle Steckley brings it home in first, and it looks like, I'm not sure if I can bring that back for you, because it may actually have been Wally Wilson nosing ahead in second place here. Ooh, hitting the wall on the exit of the turn. Yes, it does look like Wally Wilson has picked up second position. So unfortunately, folks, I cannot give you the exact scoring, because scoring was done on lap 100 and we finished on lap 102. So I am going to call race control and see if he can give me the correct order here. Hey Jordan, can you hear me?
I got you, yeah.
Okay, so my scoring ended when the iRacing thought the race was over. So can you tell us the exact order at the front here? I know it's Kyle Steckley that picked up the win.
Give me 1 second here. I'm just going to mute these guys quick.
All right, that's no problem. We'll wait for you.
Okay, I got you here. So yeah, so that was kind of a little bit on my, but the final order will be Steckley, and give me one. This is a tight call, so I'm going to do a quick little. I believe it was Kevin Dick.
Okay, I tried to bring it back in the replay, but and I can try that once again, because I thought it was Wally. But do you want me to try and see it in the replays?
Yeah, we should do that just for fun. I think it's darn close.
Okay,
Yeah,
I got it on the replay
by
here.
A bumper.
Yeah, it looks like it's Kevin Dick. I don't know. Whoa. Yeah, I think it's Kevin Dick by just a very, very small margin, but I don't think that the 69 was in front of him. Oops, my bad.
Yeah, I think it's just by the old Camaro point there.
Yeah, pretty much. It was nothing, but there wasn't much between them. But I do believe you're right. So that's our top three then. It's Kyle Steckley, it's Kevin Dick in second, and Wally Wilson in third. And I'm fairly sure we had Jeremy Brooks in fourth. Are you still there?
Sorry there, Mark.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm just trying to organize these guys, but yeah, no, I have I have Kevin Dick and I have Wally, and then I think it's Brooks after that. Is that what you got?
That's what I think as well. Yes.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy overall.
But I'm sure you'll get this figured out for the standings for next time. At least we know the top four is Steckley, Dick, Wilson, and Brooks. I'm fairly sure it was Ludwig after that. And then further down, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to figure out where everybody was. But I think that's your top five.
Yeah, we'll have to do the manual thing. Unfortunately, when I have to rip and do things quickly, obviously I made a couple mistakes there. So, but I think next week we're in the sprint cars at Eldora. Is that correct, Mark?
I believe we're going to Bristol next week.
Oh, you're right. It is Bristol Street Stocks. Yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing I just want to ask you, if you can you update the standings in the iRacing League, because that's where I get my information if I want to show the people the standings for at the beginning of the broadcast.
I probably have to manually get you that now, probably for the rest of the year, just because it automatically does it, and unfortunately, I don't think I can change it, and I'd like to keep it straight. So
Okay. Okay. Whichever way works.
y-
But
yeah,
all right. Well, I guess that concludes a night at the dirt at the USA International Speedway here, folks. We apologize for a little bit of a late start and a little bit of a messy finish here, but we wanted to give the drivers the race they deserved and the race they planned for. And that meant we had to do a manual green white checkered here. We're going to figure out the correct order. Obviously, everybody's going to get the points they deserve. And next time, a week from today, we're going to be doing street stocks at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Very tight track, so I'm sure we're going to see some interesting racing there as well. Jordan, I want to thank you for your assistance and the information when we needed it. I'm sure your job tonight was not all that easy. Uh, so thanks for that, and we'll see you next week for sure.
yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was some great racing, great broadcast, and a few slight admin errors, but I guess I got to learn on the fly here, so it's all for good fun.
As long as we get it figured out in the end, I'm sure everybody's going to be just happy with it. So we'll get it all sorted out, I'm sure.
Absolutely. Thanks for your time again, Mark.
All right, you too, and folks, we're gonna. Oops, I can't even talk anymore. We've been yelling so hard this whole night. We're gonna leave it at this at the USA Speedway. This has been Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. Next week, we hope to see you back here at the Saskatchewan Stock Car Championship at the Bristol Motor Speedway, where we're going to be running the street stocks for 100 laps also. So we hope to see you then. Stay safe out there, help each other out, and be careful. We'll see you next time. Thank you.